My name is Nate Wessels. I am the developer for the Resting Gardens Cemetery software. And for this tutorial video, I will be going over how to update existing plots within the digital map for your cemetery. So first step obviously is to make sure you are logged into your cemetery admin account. And then to be within your digital cemetery map. Okay, next is to determine which plot you are wanting to update. Few ways to do that. One is to search by plot ID or the individual who's already interred into that plot. And then the other step, or the other way, is to actually zoom into the map, find the plot that you're wanting to update, and then to click on it. For this tutorial, I am just going to be clicking on it. So I'm going to click on one of these open plots right here. And here you will see like plot information. So starting at the top, you're just going to see the plot orientation. So when you're updating a plot, all the north, like the orientation, so like the northwest, south, east, will all be set to 0, and the rotation will be based on north. So how many degrees front, like north, is it facing? So in this case, north would be over here. You're 90 degrees, or you're negative 90, so it's going to be facing. East. And let's say I want to, change the rotation of the plot. So I can hold down my cursor, and on the screen you can kind of see that the plot itself is rotating. I can change the degrees. I can say, hey, I want to actually move it. Let's say, let's say 50 inches north, 10 inches east. So on your screen, it'll move in real time, and you can just make those adjustments. And next step is like dimensions of the plot. So let's say I want to make it, let's say 400 inches in height, or 100 inches in height, or 20 inches in height. So in real time it does it. And then in width, let's say 600. But if I just want to return to the original, just go 20 and 100. Oh, sorry, 40. Okay. So those are orientation and dimensions. For plot details, so this is like the plot ID and the zone it's in. When you've already created a plot, you can't change the zone it's in, but you can change its plot ID. If you try to change it to a plot ID that already exists, it won't let you. So if you need to switch them around, you need to go to the other plot, change the other plot's ID to something else, and then come back into this plot and then change it to whatever you want it to be. Okay, so plot options. Is the plot hidden from the public? So if you just click that, the plot itself is going to turn to a black color, indicating that only cemetery administrators can see it. No one else in the public can see it. Plot occupied, it's going to turn a white color. This will automatically be set to true, and it'll be disabled if you have anyone already interred into this plot. Same for plot reserved. Okay, and special plot, this is something that we just can't account for if your cemetery is something special. So if you just click that and say, hey, indicate the special status for this plot, I'm just going to put whatever info you want in there. The yellow just indicates to the cemetery administrator, that this is a different plot. The end user will see whatever these three switch boxes are. Okay, interred. I go over this in another video, which I'll have displayed on the screen. You can add interred records to this plot, and then once you've added it, you'll see the names for all the deceased individuals within this plot already. You can add as many as you want. There's no limit. Kind of a handy feature. Okay, next step. This one is kind of similar to interred. In the event that you just kind of want to signify to whoever is the cemetery administrator that, hey, no one's buried here, but someone's purchased it, but the purchaser is different than the individual who will be buried here in the future. You can put that individual's name, last name, their address, phone, and email. This section is just to indicate to you, the cemetery administrator, that this is the individual who's planned to go here. And it's a different or the same as the purchasing information. Purchasing information, how much the plot was purchased for, plot purchase date, first name, last name of the individual, their contact information, if there was a discount, and then the price discount. Okay, now moving to the next section, invoices. So this section is conditional on whether or not you have a purchasing setup for your cemetery. By default, this will be hidden until you activate purchasing. When you create an invoice, it'll just ask for the name of the person you're going to be charging, the email to send to, their phone number, a description of this plot. So, like, I don't know, if you have a difference between a let's say you're a town cemetery and you have a discount for people who are citizens of the town or residents, but people outside the town, there's a different price. So you can say here, like, hey, this is a citizen cost, or if this is a out-of-town cost. And then you put the purchase price here. But in some scenarios, some cemeteries, if multiple people are going to be interred, they put one price for the overall purchase, but then they put other pricing for multiple people. So you can just say add line item and then put other description and then the purchase price. Okay, so then here we give you the option to pass any of the card processing fees on to the individual who's purchasing. The purchasing, the fees are dependent upon the cemetery and will be within your contract, so you can view what that is. Majority of it goes to Stripe, our card processing company that we've been using. They have a separate fee that will be within your contract. And then below this is like the total, like the application fees, processing fees, and like grand total. Okay, let's go out of here. And references. So this is a feature that allows you to connect plots together that were purchased together. So let's say you've got 148, 147, 146, 145. Let's say all of that was under one purchase. You can come here, you can say, hey, under far southwest, so it's like, let's far southwest, and then we want to say, hey, this 140, this plot, let's say all these plots are connected together as one purchase. And when you go into that plot, it'll say, hey, review this plot information for all the purchasing information. So you don't have to go into each plot and add the purchasing information separately for each one. You can just create them as groups. Let's get out of here. Let's go to private media. So this is anything, like any photos, videos, audio files, whatever files you want to upload up to 50 megabits that you want to keep private to you, the cemetery administrator, for future use, whatever you deem necessary. We don't have a public section for this because it doesn't make sense to display both the individual who's buried here as a separate file and the plot as a separate file. So we just keep it separated. And then private plot remarks, any information about this plot, like let's say there's a pipe or something running near this plot. You can just indicate in here, hey, just be warned, there's a pipe 3 inches north of this. Stuff like that. And then lastly, document exporting options. In the event that you want to create some kind of PDF that has the date that you want to be able to download data, you can do that here. There is a separate video on how to do this. You can click on there. And that concludes this video.